The rest of the main rafters go on like this. Get up on the ladder, throw one end over there, attach the rafters to the center ring, put this screw in, then walk down to that end and go ahead and drive your vertical screw that goes into the bracing block. And just continue around until you've got them all done. So to recap on the main rafters, take a 2x2x8, cut it 68 inches. Put a 22.5 degree angle cut on one end. Flip it over to the other end. And cut the big angle. It's only 3 cuts. 68 inches, 22.5 degree angle, then mark the big angle and cut that. When you do the 2 front rafters over the door, what I did to brace them was I just added a long piece, 36 inches long, over the door. Actually, it's a little bit more. It's probably like 38 or something like that. Doesn't really matter. As long as you give the rafters something to sit on. They could even be smaller blocks too, 6-inch ones, whatever you want to do. So it makes like a header over the door. To set the last 2 rafters in place over the door, measure 44.5 inches from the corner of the wall. That's your center point. Then you want to measure 9 5/8 to each side. Make a mark. That's where the rafters are going to sit. That makes 19 1/4 between them. Main rafters are done. Next, we do the 6 corner rafters that fit in those triangles right there. This is the rafter that comes up and it has the T attachment block that attaches it to the 2 adjacent rafters. As an option on the main rafters, what you can do is you can use 2.5-inch or 3-inch lag screws in place of the normal wood screw in here. The lag screws are quite a bit longer, so what you want to do is you want to pre-drill this and do your best and basically angle the lag screws a little bit so they go into the center of the rafters, because you want to avoid splitting and all that. And if you do this, the main rafters are a lot stronger. Now what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade the screws in here on the rafters. What you want to do is take out the screw that you put in to hold the rafter in place temporarily while you glued it, and in that same hole we're going to put a 3-inch lag screw, but we're going to angle it slightly so it goes into the thick part of the wood. There it is. Just put it in at a slight angle. The head of it may sink in a little bit, that's okay. After installing the main rafter pairs, you need to put something here in the corner. So, we're going to build corner rafters. So, let's build some corner rafters. The corner rafter is 74 inches. Cut a 22.5 degree angle. Measure from the bottom of the angle to 69 3/4. Go ahead and mark your line. Or use your T-square that's already set to do the main rafters. Go ahead and cut that angle. Make a small block for the end of the rafter, 4 inches with 30-degree angle cuts. I call this the T block. Attach the block in this manner to the end of the rafter, where the 22-degree angle cut is. Just like that. This is the block that will attach to the 2 adjacent rafters. Finished. Climb up the ladder. Position it in the middle of the ring. Toss your rafter up there. We're going to attach the corner rafter just like that. If you want, you could mark with a pencil over here to see where you're going to put the screws in. It's going to mount in just like that. Nothing sticking up. Put 2 screws in the adjacent rafters. They go in like this. 1 on each side. You'll notice that the rafter hangs off by a little bit at the end. What we're going to be doing is we're going to put a screw upwards at a bit of an angle to go into the rafter. We're going to put the screw through so it sticks up just a little bit. Then when we pull on the wall to align the rafter, the screw will stick up a little bit and it'll hang onto the rafter for us while we get the alignment set. So just like this, a little bit sticking out. You'll have to grab the rafter from both sides, put a thumb here, and lean outwards to get this aligned up. Some of the corner rafters will be pretty much close to perfect. You can go ahead and just trim these little edges off wherever they might be. If one's hanging off like 3-4 inches, then obviously you've done something really wrong. But it's normal for it to be a little bit variable here depending on how the walls are aligned and what the ground looks like underneath this thing. So that's not too bad. There's a view from overhead. Roof is completed. Those are bikes under this tarp just for scale. And there it is. The greenhouse is almost complete. Now there's 2 different things you can do with the corners. One thing you could do is you can add in a piece of wood on the inside that'll butt up against the bottom of the corner rafter. What you'll have to do is move your original blocks that were used to hold the foundation together. Just take that right off and then go ahead, measure from your rafter to the 2x6. It should be 72 inches or 6 feet. In this case, this one is just slightly shorter. I think it's like 71 7/8 or something like that. You want to go ahead and make sure of your distance here. Because of the uneven ground, you know, it can be twisted a little bit. Then what you're going to do is you're going to attach this extra piece. Loosen the screws on this block. Just move it out of the way temporarily. The extra 6-foot upright is added in the corner. It holds up the rafter, and you're going to screw it into each of the 4 corner blocks. So what it's going to do is it's going to make this corner really rigid. Go ahead and put a screw in here at the bottom, anchoring it into this block before you put this little corner piece back in. Then go ahead and add a screw at every corner block. You can also put this screw in vertical so it goes into the reinforcing member. So go ahead and attach 5 more of these to the other corners. This completes the frame of the greenhouse. And you know, like I said, this extra corner brace right here is a pretty good addition. That way you don't even have to put plywood on the corners. It's optional, or you can add the plywood to the corners as well as this inner brace. It's totally up to you. So there's a lot of little things on this that can be changed depending on how you want it to go together. So that's kind of the whole point of this thing. And if you notice, I didn't do a lot of gluing on this particular frame, just for the sake of the video, trying to get it done quickly. And I'm also going to take this greenhouse apart and move it to another location. So what you would do is, if this whole thing were glued and screwed at every single joint, and you did a really decent job of it, this will make an extremely strong structure. It's actually extremely strong right now. You can hang from the rafters pretty much. You know, it's pretty good for something that cost about $130 all said and done. So it was $112 for all the wood, and there's 3 boxes of screws used in this. There we are, completely finished except for the covering. Braces in all the corners. Grab a hold of it, and the whole thing moves like one piece. Really solid. There's all the rafters in place.